that you dare to dream really do come true.
She was the girl with the golden voice, a symbol of hope for millions. Judy Garland, with her innocent face and extraordinary talent, captured the hearts of audiences across the globe. But beneath the iconic performances, behind the glittering lights of Hollywood, there was another story, one of tragedy, exploitation, and heartbreaking loss. Today, we pull back the curtain to reveal the darker truth behind Judy Garland's rise and fall. This is the untold story of a star whose light was stolen far too soon. Welcome to Hollyweird Untold, a Garland in ruby slippers. Judy Garland was born Frances Ethel Gum in 1922. From a young age, her talent was undeniable. She was the youngest of 3 daughters born to vaudeville performers, and by the age of 13, she was already signed to MGM, one of the most powerful studios in Hollyweird. But while Judy's voice and charisma were quickly recognized as star quality, Hollyweird would take far more from her than it ever gave. Judy's life was never truly her own. From the moment she entered the studio system, executives controlled every aspect of her existence. Louis B. Mayer, the head of MGM, quickly realized Judy's potential and pushed her into grueling work schedules. She was forced to perform one film after another, working long hours with little to no rest. But for Judy, the true cost was more personal. It was the loss of her childhood. One of the darkest chapters in Judy Garland's life was her dependence on pills, a habit fostered by none other than the MGM studio system itself. In order to maintain her grueling work schedule, studio executives introduced Judy to amphetamines to keep her awake and energized during long shoots. At the same time, they prescribed her barbiturates to help her sleep after filming. Judy was just a teenager when this deadly cycle began, an addiction that would follow her for the rest of her life. The pressure was relentless. Executives monitored her diet, controlling her food intake to maintain a certain figure. Judy was frequently placed on extreme diets, sometimes going days without solid meals. And whenever her energy flagged or her weight fluctuated, more pills were the answer. Hollyweird didn't care for the well-being of the girl behind the talent. They only cared for the profitable star she had become. She was a product designed to entertain the masses and generate profits for a multi-million-dollar industry. But the constant manipulation, the dependency on drugs, and the physical and emotional toll of it all left Judy fighting a losing battle. Behind the glamorous costumes and hit songs, Judy Garland was spiraling into darkness, her health deteriorating under the weight of Hollyweird's relentless demands. For many, The Wizard of Oz is Judy Garland's crowning achievement, a timeless performance that earned her a place in cinematic history. But few know the true story of what Judy endured while filming this beloved classic. Behind the fantasy of Oz was an environment riddled with cruelty and exploitation. At just 16 years old, Judy was still struggling with her image. Louis B. Mayer had her tightly corseted to achieve a more youthful appearance, and her weight was constantly monitored. But perhaps most disturbing was the way she was treated by some of her fellow cast members. Stories have surfaced over the years about Judy being harassed by some of the actors portraying the Munchkins, men much older than her, some of whom reportedly acted inappropriately during filming. Despite these conditions, Judy delivered one of the most memorable performances of her career, but the cost was tremendous. By the time filming was wrapped, her dependency on pills had intensified, and the pressures of fame were beginning to crush her spirit. Dorothy may have escaped Oz, but for Judy, there was no simple path back to Kansas. As Judy transitioned into adulthood, she struggled to maintain her place in a changing Hollyweird. The studios had built her into a star, but they had also systematically broken her down. In her early 20s, Judy sought independence, desperate to escape the suffocating control of MGM. But freedom didn't come easily. Her mental health began to unravel under the relentless pressure. She was labeled difficult and unreliable by the same industry that had forced her into an unsustainable lifestyle. In 1950, after years of being treated as little more than a commodity, MGM dropped Judy Garland from her contract, a decision that marked the beginning of her public decline. But even as her personal life spiraled out of control, Judy's talent remained undeniable. She staged numerous comebacks, her voice as breathtaking as ever. But behind each performance, she battled demons that refused to let her go. Alcohol and prescription drug abuse, depression, and failed marriages compounded her struggles, each one chipping away at the brilliant yet fragile woman she'd become. Judy Garland's life ended in tragedy. By the late 1960s, her career was a shadow of what it once was. She had become a cautionary tale in Hollyweird, a superstar broken by the very system that created her. On June 22, 1969, Judy Garland was found deceased in her London apartment from an overdose of barbiturates. She was just 47 years old. The world mourned the loss of one of its brightest stars, but beneath the tribute and the headlines, there was an uncomfortable truth. Judy Garland's death was not simply a tragedy of personal failings. It was the final, inevitable outcome of years of mistreatment, exploitation, and an industry that cared more about profit than the well-being of the people who built it. Judy Garland's legacy is one of brilliance, beauty, and tragic loss. She gave the world everything she had, and yet the world took far more than it ever gave back. Behind the stunning performances and iconic roles was a woman struggling to survive in an industry that so often destroyed its brightest talent. Judy Garland was a victim of Hollyweird's darkest practices, but she was also a symbol of resilience, an artist who, despite everything, continued to shine, even as her own world crumbled. Her story serves as a reminder that even the brightest stars are vulnerable, and that the cost of fame can be far higher than anyone ever imagined. Join us next time as we continue to peel back the layers of Tinseltown's brightest stars and expose the hidden cost of their fame. From exploitation to manipulation, we uncover the untold truth of what really happened behind the cameras. Until next time, remember, Hollyweird is a stage where reality often wears a mask, because in the land of dreams, the truth can be a nightmare.
Bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, while